MJ, hi.
Hi, Lisa.
How are you, my friend?
I am very well, thank you. And how are you?
Fantastic. Yes, well, also, which is very excellent. Hey, thanks for the time. I guess the purpose of our chat today springs from our last conversation,
Yep.
which when we were talking about, what would happen if we would provide a program, not a program, actually 4 lots of circles for women, whereby they can come and share and listen deeply to each other in that process, for the purpose of pondering. Do you want to expand on what we were sort of saying about the pondering, the stage of life, that sort of thing?
Yeah, we've been like tossing this idea around that we would like to provide something like that for women in, let's call it our age group. We're like kind of maybe at this latter part of maybe already out of a career, or like looking at like what's the rest of this life of mine going to be about, or at least the next few years, and that we could provide some circles, some listening circles where women get to share in an intimate group with each other, what it's like for them, and explore what's possible and ponder about it. Indeed, like my favorite poet, Mary Oliver calls it, what are you going to do? What do you plan to do with the rest of your one wild and precious life? Which has been a theme for me in my work over the last few years. But so we were talking about that, and I was like, how are we going to ever explain that idea to women on paper so that it sounds like anything attractive and interesting and something that people would want to experience?
Yeah, absolutely. And the interesting thing, both of us have had different experiences in various circles, sort of settings with women over time. And I think we both have in common the struggle about how do you indeed articulate what it is, the power within it, where you sit and you actually witness someone else finding their language or being able to access something inside that even they didn't know that they could access. But sitting there in that sort of whole presence, complete presence, with them and for them, without trying to suggest something or fix something or
or even get anywhere.
Guide them. Yeah, maybe to hope that they would get somewhere, or that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the thing that we want to have people who are interested in this, women who are interested in this experience, like what is it like to speak into that kind of space where it's safe and easy and resourceful, but without any kind of agenda.
Right.
Anything that has to happen, or you have to have an outcome, or you're not going to have this fabulous plan at the end of it. And we struggle. Well, people listening to this can sense that, we're trying to find our words, how to put that into words. So we decided we'll just have this conversation, record it, and share that with people and see if that is something who that resonates with, because this is for people, women that resonates with.
That's right. Yeah. And only those. So yeah, so that's right. So that's what we were thinking. We were talking about, like, how do we actually describe the sense of it and what happens as you are being witnessed by others. So as a first person, if it was me, the person that was speaking, sharing, the things that are coming up for me, or the things that have happened to me over time in my life, where I've got to, and I'm feeling, I don't know what I'm feeling. Maybe I'm trying to dig around inside and trying to find those words, and I'm feeling. And I'm just reflecting right now, thinking about when I was in that situation the last time, and just having this whole circle of people around me that were looking at me but gently looking at me, allowing me to, allow some tears to sort of well up at a particular stage, allowing me to still stay in my seat and have control of whatever it is I did want to express, or I didn't even know I wanted to express it, but it was sort of coming out. Just that ability to stay with that, stay with me in that sort of deep diving exploration and just allowing things to come out. And then being able to self-correct. So this sort of thing was like, oh, okay, what I said there, okay, and actually it's more like this, really. And there's something there about that space that allows you to find your inner space somehow. It was for me. It was about finding the inner space to I don't know, let the right words come up in that moment. Knowing there was no judgment, knowing there was no questions coming at me that I then had to answer. Because at another time, I know when there's been a question that diverts my mind. Now I'm in your world instead of where I was, really digging in, like digging down and investigating and allowing. I don't know, does any of that make sense to you, MJ?
It makes total sense to me. Yeah.
Yes. How about for you?
Yeah, what I want to expand of maybe, what I want to share about that is like how my experience of being that deeply listened to, something opens up inside myself. You said it before, like I didn't know that was there, And for me, the most important thing is this space of no judgment, of ease, of actually grace, I think is the word that comes up for me, inside of which there is nowhere to get. There is nothing that I have to explain or make clear to somebody else, because after all, the person that I'm making it clear to is me. But in the being witnessed, because I think that's a beautiful word, actually, if you take it out of its legal context, but to be with, to have this connection with one or more other people, where I know that I'm not alone. So I'm held. I think that's for me the essence of it. Like there's something of being held. It's safe to actually speak without any judgment, indeed. I think what you said, the questions, if I know there's no questions coming, and I also don't have to provide the answers, that I can actually stay in my own process. And my experience very much is like something then comes up that often feels like a bit of a bubble of a well, and I go like, oh, that's what it is.
Exactly. Yes, that's exactly for me too. Go ahead.
And I think that is frankly sheerly lacking a lot in our world, where it's often so about finding the right answer. And the older I get, the more I come to the conclusion that knowing is really not important. I actually know very little that makes any kind of a difference anyway. But, just having to can actually express oneself just for the sake of expressing it and my own process, it's something very different than trying to intellectually understand like what's going on. So that's kind of what a listening circle would mean to me, this whole process of being witnessed and having the privilege of witnessing other people, because I think that's the other thing that is really important. Being able to feel like the gift of being able to give that space.
Yes. Yeah. And it is such a gift, because, wow, deeply listening is the best gift that we have for other people. Yeah. And you're right, we are so time poor. Many people on this earth have set themselves up to be time poor. And I think there does come a time for all of us when we have a point, whether we get there through some sort of physical crisis or, you know, overwhelm, whatever it is, or just it's now time for me, that realization that I've done, you know, all of this in my life, and it's okay actually now to choose something that might bring me much more joy, something new and creative, something more fulfilling in some sort of way. That, you know, where is the opportunity to actually explore that around? Well, I guess this is an opportunity, as we're saying, that we feel, you know, anything's welcome, and that space would be there for anything to come up. It wouldn't be a counselling session by any means. We're not counsellors, we're coaches, and we're facilitators in our own professional career over there. But this circle is really, you're right, this holding of a space for people to bring with them whatever comes with them, particularly for women that are sort of starting to weigh up what could be my next steps, as you said.
Yeah, the rest of my one wild and precious life. So
Yes.
if that is something that you go like, still not quite sure what these women are talking about, but it sounds interesting, or you go like, yes, this is for me, or you want to find out more, then you should get in touch. That's, you know, we'd love that.
We would love that. And the reason why I'm in winter clothes and Marie-Josee is in summer clothes is that she's in Holland and I'm in the Blue Mountains in New South Wales, Sydney. So here we are. Best friends.
8 hours and 16,000 kilometers apart, and still friends after, what is it, close to 30 years by now, I reckon, Lisa, you know?
I think so too.
So
yeah.
You're welcome to join.
Yes, we look forward to perhaps hearing from you. That'd be lovely.
Okay. So, bye.
It's goodbye for now.